For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Hello everybody, Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on your favorite podcast app. How's it going today? Happy New Year, I should say. Happy New Year. It is now officially 2020 or 2020. And I guess that's our big question for the next little while is, how do you say it? We're in this new decade now. Is it 2020 or 2020? Here's the deal. And we'll talk about the Golden Globes in just a second, but here's the deal. I have this real hang up since the year 2000, right? Because you don't say 2000, you don't say 2000, you don't say 2000, but yet I said 1998, 1995, 1987, 1989. But for some reason, I can't bring myself to say 2019, 2020, 2021. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason. We know radio personalities, us broadcasters are maybe a little bit off, right? We're a little bit different. We think strangely sometimes. But I keep saying it's 2020. Don't know. And I guess at the same time, it's also been a 10-year habit, right? When you go from 2000 to 2010 is kind of what everybody was doing. Nobody said 2009. I guess maybe you did. But 2010 was kind of when it started. I just never jumped on that bandwagon. So I'm 10 years behind everybody on what I call the year. So anyway, let's look ahead. The Golden Globes are handed out Sunday night, and Ricky Gervais is once again going to be hosting. So that alone is worth tuning in for, I think, because you never know what's going to happen, what he's going to say. But we're going to check in with our friends at Extra, who will be there covering the red carpet and everything Golden Globes, right? The red carpet leading up to it, the actual show, I was going to say ceremony. That's a little bit too formal. And I'm assuming the after parties and all the stuff that's going on in Hollywood. So we're going to check in with our friends at Extra. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we're going to take a quick break. I want to talk New Year's resolutions and New Year's Eve. I know we're a few days into the new year, 2020 as they like to say, but I've got some thoughts about New Year's Eve and New Year's resolutions. That's coming up right on The Scribble.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
I also had to throw to a break there because I was sick over the Christmas holiday. And I think, did I reveal the truth? Was I open last week on the show when I said it's between Christmas and New Year's and happy holidays? We had taped it before Christmas. And that was one of the dangers is, you have the sniffles a couple days before Christmas and you know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to be sick for the holidays. And sure enough, I was. That's exactly what happened. And I was sick. Actually, our family, I make this joke, our family is practically Jewish because we do Christmas on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day for our Canadian friends, that's the 26th, and to our friends in the UK as well, Boxing Day is the 26th, we had a day off from family on the 27th, and then on the Saturday we had my mom's side of the family. So we do 4 days of Christmas stuff, immediate family, dad's side, mom's side, what have you. And the sickest day that I had was the Friday, when I didn't have to be around anybody. So it was sort of timed perfectly in that regard. Nevertheless, I was still sick. And you don't want to drink then, right? You don't want to eat. And that's kind of, we're a Ukrainian and Polish family. That's sort of what we do. That's sort of what we're known for. But then somebody pointed out to me, you get a reprieve because Ukrainian Christmas isn't for a couple weeks after that. So, I could be good to go for drinking on that. But anyway, so yeah, my one really sick day was the Friday, my recovery day. And that's the day that everybody else is sort of like putting their feet up, not eating. Here I am like drinking juice and popping meds and trying to get okay for my mom's side of the family. It's different if you live at home where it's two of you, right? You and your partner, or you, your partner, and maybe a kid or something like that. But when you've got to be around 30 people and you've got the chills and then you're sweating and then the noise is bothering you and like you just don't want to be around a ton of people. So anyway, that's just my rant about being sick. So I thank my colleagues, by the way, who laughed about it at the mid-December point, and I knew what was going to happen. And thankfully I have an office, so I can just close my door and hide out from the world. Unfortunately, though, I have meetings with these people, and yeah, that's what happened. Let's talk New Year's Eve and the broadcasts, right? You've got Ryan Seacrest on Rockin' Eve. You've got Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen on CNN. Here's the deal. First of all, I'm not going into the debate about Kathy Griffin and Andy Cohen, who should host with Andy. That's not the point of this rant. A few years ago when Don Lemon and then whoever is it Brooke Baldwin? Brooke something? Anyway, it became comical that they got drunk and they were hosting this show. And I guess it's sort of funny because it's not something you see all the time. And I thought, me being a broadcaster, I've been on syndicated radio for 13 and a half years. I know, like, when we go and do a travel program in Mexico, I'll have some drinks on the pirate ship and we'll talk to a pirate. And yeah, I'm probably half in the bag a lot of times. You can't necessarily tell because I'm not acting the fool, right? I'm not playing it up that, we're drinking. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have another shot. We just don't do that. I do have a bit of, I'm a classy gal. But, so the first couple of years when Dawn and what's her name were doing, is it Brooke Baldwin? Is that her name? All right, we'll look into that. Anyway, it was comical because that's not something you see. And then it was like, yeah, we're getting lit. I think we're lit. And there's, I guess, just something sad when you're seeing a 40, 50-year-old person on TV talking about getting drunk. Like, I realize that it's New Year's Eve. I've never really been big about New Year's anyway, so that's sort of part of it, I guess. But I could understand if you were maybe a 20-year-old and you're doing that, and this is your first time on live TV, and hey, the bosses are letting us drink, and this is cool, huh? I don't know. I mean, I'm 37, and I just don't feel the need to go on about getting lit, whether I'm on the air or not, quite honestly. I just, even when I'm at a family get-together, or if I'm out at a party, or not that I party, but when we go and do these travel shows and we can stay up until 4 a.m, or we're flying first class and all the booze you want, like that's just not my personality, because I don't know. I just feel like, why do I want people seeing me when I'm vulnerable? And I mean, I guess I know what I'm saying, but I'm not in control, but I am. Does that make sense? And so there was just something off-putting about that, especially this year, or I guess technically last year, with Anderson Cooper doing shots. He's not a drinker, so it is sort of funny to see his reaction as he's doing it. But as the host of the broadcast, I always kind of thought that you watch the other people doing it. You watch the revelers having the shots and drinking. And again, a couple years ago, they had one of their correspondents on a bus, a marijuana bus in Colorado or something, and clearly she's getting high, not doing it herself, but she's surrounded, she's around everybody doing it. And so you're kind of like, am I really seeing this middle-aged woman getting giggly and high with these people just for New Year's entertainment? And again, I remember the first year that Don Lemon was like really drunk and wasted, and people commenting on Twitter the next morning going, I wonder if he's going to be embarrassed about that. Oh, that's not, the bosses are never going to let that happen again. Well, and sure as crap, it ends up happening, I don't think they don't seem to get as lit anymore. But again, I don't know, there's just something off-putting about it. It was sort of strange to me. I could see it, like I said, I can see it if you're in your 20s. Maybe if I'm in my 20s and I'm watching them, that's kind of cool, right on. Yeah, look at them, they're working and they're getting drunk. Well, okay. Or maybe I've been in this business too long that I'm kind of like, grow up, guys. Grow up, you guys. But, it's whatever. I mean, I'm not bitter. I'm in broadcasting, and I could have a drink on my desk when we're doing our show any day of the week. So it's, drinking in our office is not, it's not forbidden. It's not frowned upon. So it's not that I'm jealous that they got to drink while they were working. We do it quite regularly here. So, all right, it is award show season. Things are starting to kick off with the Golden Globes this weekend, and then I believe it's SAG, and then Grammys, and then Oscars. So for an entertainment reporter such as myself, that means that there's no weekends off for the next 2 months or so. We're going to check in with our friends at Extra and preview the award shows, at least the Globes, coming up first. We're going to talk nominations, snubs, surprises, make some predictions, and just talk about movies and TV in general. So that's coming up right after this here on The Scribble.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
The Golden Globes are handed out this weekend, and that means we talk about the nominations and the snubs, surprises, shockers ahead of the big show, and our friend Jenn Lahmers from Extra is joining us to chat everything Globes. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jeremy. How's it going? Are you ready?
Well, are you ready? This is your first Globes.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And it's supposed to be the biggest ceremony yet.
It's the kickoff to award show season, though, isn't it, right? And this sort of sets the tone for everything that's coming up, because after that, it's the SAG and then Oscars, and sometimes the wins and losses at the Globes foreshadow what's going to happen for the rest of award show season.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. That's exactly how it goes. And I was just at the Palm Springs International Film Festival just yesterday, and you can tell everyone's ready for it. The excitement was there. And, we talked to J-Lo. It's going to be a super emotional award season, I think, for her. Because she almost she's in this different place now. She's back on screen. She's kind of at the top of her game right now. She's being honored for this Hustlers movie. And I think even she can't believe that she's getting so many accolades for it. But, she's enjoying her moment for sure.
I do. I remember her post when the nominations were announced. 20 years, I think it's been, right?
Yeah, it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible for her.
Yeah, so one of my favorites is always talking about the snubs. Do you think anybody was really snubbed this year for the show, though?
Snubs? I would say there were a few. I think De Niro maybe was one of the more surprising ones. I think everyone kind of expected him to get nominated for a Globe for The Irishman.
Yeah.
Cats certainly didn't get it for Best Musical, especially after all the hype.
Well, but
before it came out.
The reviews. Okay, we'll talk about Irishman in a second, but the reviews for Cats. I mean, they're a little bit creepy, though. I.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. Yes. I think and I didn't see it. I'll be.
Oh, okay.
Honest with you.
All right.
I didn't see the musical. I didn't see the movie. And there's a reason for that. I do think it's a little creepy. I think that. Just from the commercials and previews that I saw of it, for example, some of the cats have breasts. Like, it's just a little weird. Dame Judi Dench was wearing her wedding ring.
Yeah.
It's just, and the reviews have been a little poor. So I do think that, when you overhype a movie like that, especially with such an all-star cast, you run the risk of disappointing fans.
Yeah, well, and also, too, when people are expecting to see one of the cat's anacondas and it's not there. Well, anyway.
That's a personal disappointment.
But I think, I'm imagining it. But I think one of the dangers, as you say, this is a legendary musical that, has been on Broadway how long? That's dangerous to do, is to recreate this and make it into a movie after all these years.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't always play that way. And for this particular film, I think it kind of sank.
It did. Let's move on. Let's talk Irishman, as you mentioned. That is up for Best Motion Picture, Best Director, and Pacino and Pesci up for Supporting Actor. Will it get some love on Sunday? Will it get some golden love?
Oh, yeah, I think for sure. I think this may be Pacino's comeback year. It's been 27 years since he's taken a Globe or even been awarded for a movie that he's done. I think the last time he won an award for a film was Scent of a Woman, and that was in the early 90s. Can you believe that?
Yeah, but that's I think what's great though is that some of these legends are now getting their time again, right? I mean, it's great to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is kind of Scorsese's culmination of all these mob movies. Irishman is odds-on favorite for best drama. Did you see it?
I didn't see that one. No.
Okay, I saw it. I thought it was, in all fairness, maybe about an hour too long. But I do think the story. I do think the storytelling was great. And it was a real treat to see Pesci, De Niro, and Pacino on screen again. I think that people have been waiting for this for a very, very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joker, all the hype and controversy about that one, that got 4 nominations: Best Motion Picture, Best Director, Best Lead Actor, of course, for Joaquin, and Best Score. How do you see that one doing on Sunday?
Oh, I hope it does really well, because this is one of my personal favorites.
It was great.
It is conflicting, it's heartbreaking, it's twisted. At times you feel bad for Joaquin's character. It's a very real and uncomfortable look at the way we treat mental illness in this country. I think that's what makes this film so good, because it kind of hits a chord with people on this very almost taboo level in the way it kind of deals with themes of revenge. So it's a really, really complex movie. I don't think it's going to win Best Picture, but I can definitely see it winning Best Director and certainly Best Actor for Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, he dropped, 52 pounds for the role?
Yeah.
It got an 8-minute standing ovation at the film festival, so I think that he's nearly a shoo-in for a Globe and more than likely for an Oscar too.
Okay, so Joker not necessarily up for, or not going to win, we think, Best Picture, but one that didn't get love, Avengers Endgame. I mean, that one, I don't even know how much it made at the box office, but I guess people talking about it and people loving it isn't enough when it comes to the Golden Globes.
That's exactly right. So yeah, it broke box office records, highest grossing movie I think of all time, right? But that just goes to show you how little the Hollywood foreign press cares about how big a blockbuster movie is. And some people are super upset because, Joker got 4 Globe nominations, but that's like comparing apples and oranges, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is this, fantastic, high-octane blockbuster, sort of the crescendo of this 10-year franchise. The other is this gritty, dark film that, realistically tells the story of a guy who's severely mentally ill. So I think that you really kind of can't even though they are based in the comic book world, I don't think you can really compare the two. I think it's actually kind of refreshing that it didn't get as much love as maybe people thought it did, because you're talking about fan favorites versus a Hollywood foreign press, which is more of an elite organization. So I think that's the biggest frustration when it comes to just awards shows in general.
Let's have a little side conversation about that, though, because it's kind of like, oh, hey, moviegoers, oh, hey, people who made this movie record-breaking at the box office, your opinion doesn't mean squat. We're the foreign press. No. I mean, thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's, I don't enjoy that either. Because, why are movies made is to connect with a wide audience and, to sort of escape from your daily reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's time that the Hollywood foreign press, and organizations like this take notice of that. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I think so. And you also make a good point, though, when it comes to the actual tone of a picture or project. And, When They See Us got 16 Emmy nominations. Again, really powerful story on that one. But no love at the Globes. Total snub.
Yeah, it was completely shut out, which I think was very surprising. I loved the series. I mean, I thought at least Jarrell Jerome would get something. He was incredible And, this is a series, by the way, that had very real-life consequences. It started a dialogue, a nationwide dialogue. It was, you don't get any more of a cautionary tale. It was a reckoning for the real-life prosecutor in the case. So if you're talking about, a movie that's had a true impact, it's that one.
Well, yeah, especially, 16 Emmy nominations. That's nothing to sneeze at, certainly. Lots of, dialogue and conversation, as we say. When it comes to diversity in Hollywood, this is not a conversation that's, I think, going away anytime soon. It's coming up a lot lately. It happened again this year. The snub when it comes to female directors. To me, I'm sort of, I'm a white guy, so this is where I face controversy, but is it a gender thing, or should it be based on the actual work?
I think it should be about the work. I think it should be about the quality of the work. Otherwise, we kind of run the risk of the entire show turning into this, disingenuous display of virtue signaling, which I think, is sure to turn off audiences. But I think if we want more women to be nominated, then all right, it's up to the producers to choose women as directors.
Right.
So you take Charlize Theron, for example, right? She's been the most vocal about how a lot of women were shut out for directing nominations, this year. Yet, who does she pick to direct Bombshell? A man. So, go figure. If you want women to be in the race, you have to choose them.
If you want to be in the race, you have to, start practicing. You got to get involved. You can't just sit on the sidelines.
That's what you preach. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And I guess, and again, I'm all about diversity. Absolutely, people, should not be limited into what they do, and they should be recognized for their efforts. But I sort of cringe when I hear, oh, he's the first, black director. Oh, he's the first gay character. Where is the limit, though? Is he the first one who had an ingrown toenail? Is he the first one who, spoke 3 languages? Right? I'm not trying to trivialize, people's... But, it's great to call it out, but I don't think that it needs to be said by the announcer as they're coming on the stage, right? I don't know.
Agree.
We've seen over the years the shift of nominations to streaming services. That it used to be the big TV and movie companies, the traditional ones anyway. Now, things like Netflix, Amazon seem to be leading the charge. Netflix, 34 nominations across the categories at the Globes this year. TV networks, though, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, no love. And it's crazy because, NBC, I think, had a sweep with This Is Us just a few years ago.
Oh, sure, yeah. By the way, I don't know how people are watching all these series and all these shows because there's too many darn services out there. I cannot.
Yeah.
There's more and more every day. There's Disney Plus now. So, okay. So there's kind of 2 things at play here, I think. Netflix's budget, for example, is so enormous. I was at their campus in LA. The place should have its own zip code. So now they can produce high-quality content because they have the budget to do it.
Yeah.
Netflix, I think they were expected to spend $14 billion on original content. How is cable TV going to compete with that? And not to mention, kind of people want to see edgy stuff, right? They want to see naked people. They want to see foul language and violence. It's who we are as a country, I guess. It could be a sad statement, but, I think people have become a little desensitized now.
We want to see felines with human genitalia. That's kind of where it's at,
exactly.
Isn't it?
You know what I'm saying? That's where it's at.
In our final remaining moments, we really do have to go. Give me some predictions. I know we've covered a few things. Will there be a sweep, either in wins or losses? Who are you looking forward to seeing? Sum it all up for me in a few brief seconds.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I think that Succession is going to walk away with a lot of wins. I do think we're going to see a lot of wins for Irishman as well. I am really looking forward to Ricky Gervais personally hosting again. I don't think anybody is safe. I expect lots of, Jenn and Brad jokes about PC culture. Anyone who's made a bad decision over the last 10 years, you are all targets.
Uh-huh.
As far as fashion goes, I'll be with Adam Glassman for the Golden Globes for Extra, and he said that, some of the trends, you're going to see a lot of polka dots, lots of bright colors, puff sleeves. I'm kind of dying to know what J-Lo, Beyonce, Billy Porter, ScarJo, what they're all wearing. I think it's going to be fantastic. So my favorite movies, by the way, that are being nominated right now, Richard Jewell, Bombshell, Joker, Knives Out, and Jojo Rabbit. I think those were the best from this year's Golden Globes.
Oh, right. Where can we tune into all the extra coverage? You'll have it online and then on air, right?
We're going to have it online, on air. We're going to be everywhere. That's right.
What is the website address for Extra?
Oh, it's extratv.com.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Jenn Lahmers from Extra.
Amazing.
Thanks so much.
Thank
and
you, Jeremy.
happy award show season to you.
Happy Golden Globe.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. Top of the show, I mentioned I also wanted to talk about New Year's resolutions. And here's the thing. This is sort of, again, a big debate that people have when it comes to the new year. And it's generally the same things, right? I'm going to work out more. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to spend less time on my phone. Isn't that that's right? Or I'm going to make time for my loved ones. Well, you would do that by eating better and not sitting on your phone all day. I'm a dick. But here's the thing. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I'll put that up front. But I think what it is it reminds me of those days in college when you have a paper due. Okay, so it's Wednesday, and I've got a paper due on Friday, okay? It's Wednesday night. You know what? I said I'm going to do my paper tonight. I got everything ready. I got my glass of wine. I got the books. I'm going to do it. And then something comes up, and then I don't do it Wednesday night. Okay, not a problem. I got Thursday night. There's time, right? I'll do it Thursday night. It's due Friday morning. It's all right. Thursday night rolls around. There's something on TV. You're distracted with whatever it is. It's nice out. You go for a walk with the dogs. And okay, well now it's midnight. It's technically Friday now, and now the clock is ticking. That's what I feel about a New Year's resolution. Is because all of a sudden now it's the strike of midnight. Or stroke of midnight, whatever you call it, and it's the new calendar. It's January now. So it's almost kind of like, well, why didn't I start eating better on December 27th? Right? That's kind of the big thing. Christmas happens, and then everybody always says, I ate too much, I drank too much, I'm going to eat better in the new year. Well, why didn't you start doing that on the 27th after you binged? Right? You give yourself more time. And so that's where it's almost like a forced kind of, well, I'm doing it because I have to. Now, true that maybe some people do thrive in that sort of pressured environment or pressured way of life. Because again, when I was in elementary school and junior high, I would come home and do my homework. We got out of school at 3:30. We were like a 5-minute walk from the school. I would do my homework and have it done by like 4 p.m. So within, 30 minutes of leaving school, I came home, got my ass into the books, and finished the homework because I just wanted it to be over with. As you get older, right, and you become a teenage slacker in a way, then you kind of like, I've got time. And yes, when I was in college, I absolutely would wait to do a paper until the last minute. I don't have time to tell you about when I bought a paper off the internet because I couldn't stand composition and grammar. We've got, a minute and a half? I couldn't stand the course composition and grammar, and I didn't want to read the book. And this was back, way before the internet was a big thing. I think we had AOL. And I bought a paper on the internet for $200. And again, it's delivered by such and such time, right? It's guaranteed to be great. Well, here's the deal. It was such broken English and terrible that I barely had time to quickly sort of edit and make sense of it. I think I got burned for $200. I failed the paper anyway. I might as well just have failed it and not come home, bought the paper, wait anxiously for my, email, because you had to be on your computer at the time to log in there. That's where your login was, at least how we had it set up. And yeah. Anyway, so New Year's resolutions, I think it's very funny that you sort of wait. If it really means that much to you and you want to do it, you would start doing it today, right? If today is the day, and I mean any day, I'm not saying today, January 3rd, but you'd make that effort. You would make that effort in June, in August, in September, whenever you have the thought is when I won't do it for another few months. Well, no, if you want to do it, you start doing it right now. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. I would love to know your thoughts on all of this that we've talked about today. Getting drunk when you're doing a broadcast and you're 50 years old, making a New Year's resolution, and what do you think about award shows? Are people tuning out? Do you even care who's going to win? Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye,
Want
everybody.
more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat